welcome to the Atheist Experience. I'm your host, Matt Dillhoney. Joining me this week, Russell Glasser.
Hi, folks.
We are live. It is
Callers.
This may actually tie into it. Is it Richard?
Yes.
How you doing, Richard?
Hi.
Hi, fine. My question is, religious people have always quoted the Bible and said, homosexuality has gone against God, and they quote Leviticus and all that other nonsense. My question to you is, what atheists that you've encountered who are homophobic, what is their rationale for being homophobic?
Do you know any?
I think I may know one atheist who's a bit homophobic, and I don't know that there's any rationale for it at all. I actually, this is an issue where I came a long way, coming from a background where I used to believe that this is an abomination. God said so. I think kind of playing off of what I mentioned earlier, talking about our own natural reactions. I've been, for years now, an advocate of equal rights for everybody, regardless of sexual orientation, etc. But for a while, there was the ick factor, and it was a double standard too, where if you see like two females kissing, it's fine, and if I saw two guys kissing, it was like, ooh. Well,
and I mean, I have to be honest. I haven't ever completely gotten over the ick factor, although I don't.
Right, and I don't
make an issue.
I don't necessarily think that I have either. It's not a matter of getting over that. It's a matter of embracing it, of saying, oh, now I understand why I had that reaction, and it's because, speaking simply, I'm wired differently. That is not something that has an interest in me, but it's not something that neither do I hold it against anybody.
Right.
But I actually have a greater appreciation for homosexual relations now than I ever did before. One of the things that came out this week, New York State Appeals Court ruled that the state of New York has to recognize same-sex marriages that originated elsewhere. And this is something you're going to see everywhere, because the states basically have laws on the books that say if a couple got married in another state and they moved to your state, you have to recognize that marriage. That you can't penalize them for moving to your state by taking away their rights. So, of course, Massachusetts allowed it. The couple in question actually got married in Canada. But you're going to start seeing this a lot more, and I'm hoping that it kind of makes these issues go away, because recognizing that my reaction, which used to be an ick and which is now a hey, that's just not for me, is not any different from anybody else's reactions to these things. It's all in how we deal with it, how we choose to handle what our feelings on the situation are. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I would think that I have gay friends who may have at one point had a similar ick when they saw a heterosexual couple kissing. I don't know that that's the case. I don't know. Maybe it's not as strong. Maybe it's stronger. And I don't consider sexuality in general to be this kind of, off on or even straight by gay. It's
right.
There's a whole spectrum.
I believe in the Kinsey scale. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in principle. I mean, I think I'm way over on one side of the Kinsey scale, but I accept that people are all along the spectrum. Some are straight, some are gay, some are somewhere in between. I'd like to actually throw out a little bit of ACA history, though. Because a number of years ago, the Atheist Community of Austin actually had a lot of argument over whether to create an official press release or proclamation basically saying we support gay rights. And the argument in favor of it, and I think I came out against it, but just barely. But the argument in favor of it was very persuasive, which is basically the argument was there really is no good reason for opposing homosexual equality except for religious ones. And therefore, it's completely in line for the Atheist Community of Austin to be announcing that we have an official position that it's okay to be gay.
As if our stamp of approval would make
it right. It would probably make them worse off.
Yes,
if we said
and that was one of the arguments that was discussed too, is whether or not gay rights movement would want a bunch of atheists who are potentially hated even more or less respected by certain members of the community, walking alongside them.
Right, but I'd also add that we have for years had a presence at the at the Austin Gay Pride Festival.
Still do, every year.
Right. So, we have a booth there, and we recruit people so they can not only be evil homosexuals, but also evil godless people.
Yeah. And in general, I think Russell's right. There's not any kind of rationale for it that I can see. It's not an atheist issue in that,
Right.
It doesn't have anything to do with atheism. But as he pointed out, I think there are religious aspects to it. Mainly, my purpose for supporting all of this is in part because I have friends who are gay, because I recognize that this is something that I'd like to support, equality overall.
Right.
Because if I don't stand up for the rights of other people, I can't protect my own.
I have, I'd like to play devil's advocate for a second. I can remember having some email exchanges with people who were trying to justify their homophobia as atheists. And from what I recall, what they said was something like, well, it's not natural to be gay because Darwinian evolution says that, you have to have a male and a female to reproduce. And so if everybody was gay, the species would die out. And my reaction to that was, well, we don't have a problem with having too few with having too many babies.
Too few. Right.
We don't have a problem with having too few babies right now, so what's the problem? Anyway.
The argument is pretty much crap anyway. But
yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. I think you have a great show.
Thanks, Richard.